Hello and welcome back to Walk the Cinema podcast. Today we are continuing on with our Oscar Best Picture highlights with episode 5, and we're going to be talking about Dune.
This is a movie with a huge fandom, a lot of following for a long time, and I think we just should make it pretty clear that we're not part of the fandom, and this movie's not like for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, if you want fun facts about Dune, I don't have any. I think we're going to look at it objectively as a movie, individual movie.
Yeah, as more of like a first time being introduced to this world.
Right. Like, we're not going to, care about how it sticks to the book or any fandom related stuff. Just objectively as a movie. That's not made for us. Like, this... It's a movie I kind of avoided. And I know, like, Denis Villeneuve told you to watch this in IMAX theaters.
Yeah.
And people said it's a different experience, and I bet it is.
Yeah, because we watched this on our TV in our living room, so...
And honestly, he did make the TV look small. Like, I feel like it was so large that he made the TV feel, like, not big, and it's a big TV.
Yeah. But I would say that I 100% see why this is such a hard movie to make. Mm-hmm. Even without... I've never read the book, neither of you.
No.
And so...
Which, we might get criticized that we don't get it because we didn't read the book, but there's hundreds of movies based on hundreds of books, and kind of the point of the movie for a lot of people is you don't gotta read the book.
Right. But, so I see, like, why so many people have tried... and had varying degrees of success making this movie. Like Jodorowsky, which I butchered his name, but oh well. Yeah. He tried to make this, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they were like, we can't continue with this movie because your budget's like crazy at this point. Yeah,
but honestly, that's a good thing because he took a big break and he came back and made Santa Sangre, which is amazing.
Right.
But and I actually love. So
that's neither here nor there. And then, then they had the 1980
Lynch
version, and again, never seen that one before.
But people talk a lot of crap about that one.
Yeah, like I said, varying degrees of success. Like,
yeah, this one is pretty highly praised by critics. Mm-hmm. Some people don't like it. Some people really like it, but it didn't get crapped on, and it's loved by the fandom, from what I can tell. I know my friends love them. They got 10 Oscar nominations.
Yeah. My friends also liked him. Those that read the book, so,
I don't know if my friends read the book, but they love this movie. They watched the old one that they didn't like as much. They watched the Jodorowsky's Dune, the documentary about him trying to make Dune. So they got really into Dune from this, which is great. And this is going to get sequels, at least one. It might get a lot more. It might be the new It franchise.
Maybe.
You already went through half of the actors in Hollywood.
That's very true. I think that part of it is that I guess I don't particularly like is I think the world building is a little bit too rushed, I guess.
There's just a lot.
Yeah, because it's a lot. So it just starts throwing all these terms and stuff at you. And...
yeah, there's a lot. You only covered half of the book.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And it's 2.5 hours, which is not stupid long.
No.
It's probably an appropriate length for it.
Yeah. But I'll give an example on a series that I do know more about, that I've read the books and watched the movies. So I get kind of the comparison with that one. But like, you take something like Harry Potter, and that one, the world building is more gradual. It doesn't make giant leaps and stuff, but I guess to kind of come back or give it, less slack, you're not starting from scratch pretty much, where Harry Potter has roots in reality. Like, it takes place, like, humans are a thing, and they live in this human world, but then there's a secret society of wizards, whereas this one, it's way, way in the future.
Right, it's in 10,000 something.
Yeah, and so the rules of reality and the rules of the like atmosphere are different.
Yeah, which makes sense. And I don't feel like it was too hard for me to understand the rules.
Mm.
Like, I don't know. They just don't compel me too much. I'm not into sci-fi.
That's very true. I thought I would like this more because I am into sci-fi.
I thought I would like it too, and I know like my friends are gonna tell me because they've done this before, and they're gonna tell me that I went into the movie not liking it already, which is not true. I actually mentioned multiple times, and there's record of this. I've been on a YouTube channel, and I mentioned that I'll probably like this. I don't know. I kind of thought of Mad Max Fury Road, where it gets high praise as a sci-fi movie, action sci-fi. I like it, and I think it's an okay movie, but for entertainment value, it's crazy good. And this one was just not that.
Right.
And people mentioned, like some critics mentioned that this is action-packed, and I didn't think that was true.
I didn't either, particularly.
A lot of the action scenes were cut so short, too. Like, there's good scenes. There's good action scenes. Like the Jason Momoa fighting all of the dudes at once.
Mm-hmm.
Once he locks the doors, that was a pretty good action scene. And it was drawn out, and I liked it. But it's not like I just like action movies either, because I don't.
Yeah.
Because I'm weird. I guess I don't like fun.
Yeah, and I feel like even though it's a 2.5 hour movie, it went by pretty quickly.
It did.
It didn't drag.
It didn't drag. It is slow building, though.
Yeah.
It didn't drag. I don't think it was a boring movie. It's just not a story that interests me a lot. It's also, I don't think like it's a crazy unique story either.
I don't know. I think the story could be interesting, but like I said, I think to fully get the experience, you kind of have to know the lore, maybe going in, so that you're kind of focusing more on that. Maybe this will be better on a rewatch, you know, where you kind of like have the baseline understanding of what's going on, and then you can kind of pay attention to other aspects. Because honestly, I thought I was a little bored in some places.
I think if you watched it in theaters, it'd be less boring. But I don't think you make the movie better. Like then, that would be what a lot of people would say about it. Like if you watch it on HBO Max, Denis Villeneuve is right. It's your living room's not big enough, your TV's not big enough. You need to go to a movie theater.
Yeah. And
sure, for the spectacle aspect, all the technical parts of it, you do. It would look crazy in IMAX.
Well, it's kind of like the Avatar phenomenon where everyone wanted to go see it.
You gotta
like
watch it
IMAX.
in 4D.
Yeah.
You get the water sprinkled on you.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make the movie itself better. It just makes for a better day out or a better experience. Yeah. But it's not a better movie because of it.
Yeah.
And again, we're judging this as a movie because it's not a fandom we're part of.
Yeah. And I don't know. I've seen a couple people criticize some stuff that really doesn't have any bearing on it, such as Zendaya's character not showing up until like the very end and having her being used in all the promotional material. And I think that that's kind of a dumb criticism, because it's not really a criticism.
Well, even in her absence, she's important.
Yeah.
Because she's in the vision.
Yeah.
So when he sees her, you recognize it. So he like comes back. But I mean, I guess if you read the book, she's halfway through the book, is what I heard.
Yeah.
Like that's when she shows up, so
yeah,
she'll be more important in the second part.
I believe so.
Yeah. She looked mad goofy. I don't know what they're doing with the blue eyes. I guess I don't know if it's like an effect. Because, you know, when they fight and they flash red and blue, after doing that with their eyes, it looks really silly to me.
I didn't really have an opinion on that, to be honest.
Okay.
I just kind of watched, but I don't know. I thought the performances were pretty solid. I mean, there are some scenes where I think it is a little goofy. I don't know, like the villain guy, or the emperor, I guess. I don't know. his whole character was a little goofy, especially when he like rose off of his like throne thing,
like
and
a fish.
he looked like a fish.
Yeah,
he looked like a mermaid type thing, and it just made me laugh. I don't
know.
If
you don't completely suspend your disbelief, you will laugh at some of the stuff.
It just
that's not supposed to be funny.
Yeah, I just thought that was silly, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think this is a bad movie. It's just not something that I'm completely into, and to further my point, I do like these kind of sci-fi movies, or even like multiple franchises, you know, like Lord of the Rings, love it. I even love The Hobbit, like,
right.
You know. So it's not that
it's this particular one.
Yeah, it's this particular one that I'm just not into, and that's fine, you know.
I'm not into it at all, but I don't know if it's gonna be a franchise. I don't mind it as much as I mind other stuff being so slapped in your face all the time. This just feels less annoying and less childish too. This is like a grown-up version of Star Wars. I hope that's not controversial.
I don't know.
It's Star Wars but serious, which I think it's a detriment sometimes that it takes itself extremely serious.
Yeah, and some of its concepts are a little silly, which I do think that this is probably a way better book than it is a movie. You know, like, I think there's, not to be one of those people where the books are always better than the movies. That's not always true, to be fair. But I think that in this particular instance, it would probably be, you'd probably have a more fun time.
Closing your eyes and imagining the spaceships that look like fireflies.
Kind of, you know?
Right.
Where you reading about it, I think, would be better. Because you can get more nuances, I guess.
And when you read about it, you can imagine it to be whatever you want. You can imagine that they don't have blue eyes. They have regular eyes that don't shine.
I guess. I don't know. But...
People made fun a lot of when Timothée Chalamet takes off his helmet glass and it shows the eyes, like the very offsetting blue eyes. People made fun of that shot a lot. Because this cost, what, $200 million?
Something like that.
That's insane. It reached $400 million the weekend before we watched it, which is very impressive for a movie that's streaming. It made almost $500 million, probably gonna make that eventually, even though it's streaming.
Yeah.
That shows that, you know, it is a franchise that's gonna be around.
I will say that this is just me being me, but I do have a bone to pick with this movie because it came out on my birthday.
Right.
And literally no theater would show anything else besides this movie.
It was awful, yeah.
Besides, you know, stuff that we had already seen that, like, wasn't that big, you know? So I was upset that if I wanted to watch something on my birthday, that this was the only movie I could watch.
You're supposed to get French Dispatch and Last Night in Soho?
Yeah, I think Last Night in Soho got moved eventually.
Last Night in Soho is even worse than this, so...
But I wanted to see it,
okay.
So anyway.
You liked it.
I did like it, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so part of me was kind of like, I mean, I did want to watch this movie, but I wasn't into it at that point, you know?
I didn't want to watch this movie.
That's true.
Not because I hated it. I just thought it'd be okay, and I don't think that okay is worth all the investment that you need to put into this.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's this 2.5 hours, then the next movie's going to probably be a little bit longer. And then it might become a huge franchise. There's all the books that they can use. And I don't think that me thinking it's okay is a good investment of my time.
That's valid.
It's really not for me. I won't be watching part 2 again unless it gets the Best Picture nomination. And that's not because I care about the Oscars. That's because I care about the podcast and I think it's fun covering the Best Picture nomination.
I mean, I think I'll probably watch Dune Part 2 when it comes out.
You can watch it with your friends.
Because you never know. It might be one of those things where it's better to view as a whole instead of as a part.
I do agree with that, because this kind of just ends.
Well, yeah, it kind of has to, you know?
Yeah, which is fine because I knew that was going to happen. If I didn't, I'll probably be, like, dumbfounded that it just ends.
I mean, yeah, I guess so, but I feel like
Flabbergasted that it's just...
this is why I think the director didn't get a directorial nomination for the Oscars, because I think what they're probably going to do is wait until the second one has come out, if he's going to get one. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if you should get one, though. I don't know if I agree with that.
well,
because even, okay, if Best Director nominations are for world building, sure, you should get one. But if they're for getting the most out of your actors, portraying emotions on the screen, making people feel involved in your film, this didn't do it. This is very flat emotionally. There's only a couple times where it like ramps up in emotion, I guess. It's when his father dies, Paul's father. His father dies, and then it's when his brother dies. Duncan, Ohio, is that his brother? Cousin? Friend?
I think it's just his friend.
Okay.
Duncan, Ohio. Is it Duncan, Ohio?
I don't know. Cincinnati Master. I don't know his name. It's really stupid. But at least his name sounds like it'd be in a sci-fi movie.
Duncan, Idaho.
That's
what I was thinking.
The main character's Paul.
He's not...
And then there's a Jess.
He's not a brother. He's just a guy.
I don't know. They're kind of... They feel like kind of brothers, though.
I mean,
like they have a brotherly relationship.
Maybe like a more of along the lines of a mentor.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. Older brother.
Somebody looks up to.
Right.
But yeah, I think that another criticism that I kind of have for this movie is how they're constantly whispering, which I'm sure if we were in IMAX, it would have been fine. You would have been able to hear, but...
I guess, because I didn't really hear criticism for the sound.
Yeah.
And I thought the sound was terrible.
Yeah, so
Not the sound design, mind you. The sound design was fine. Mm-hmm. The sound mixing was a little heavier on the music than the dialogue. Yeah,
and I think that it probably has to do with us viewing this on our TV at home, but I feel like it's still kind of a criticism, because you're not going to always be able to watch this in IMAX, you know? Part of why he's making this movie is so that you can enjoy it for years to come. Also, we never have issues with other movies. Yeah, so I don't think it was just our... I can't remember the last movie where the audio was an issue on this television and our setup. Yeah. So, I mean, the whole movie was made to be in theaters, and he made that very clear. Dennis made that super clear, and Dennis is someone that has so many fans that he can do that. Yeah. And it worked out for him. The timing was good for the release of this, even though you hated it, because it was on your birthday. But... yeah, just, you know, maybe I'm a little prejudiced against it because of that, because I couldn't watch any other movie besides Dune. No, but it's good for the theaters. Well, yeah, obviously. And I think you should go watch part 2 in theaters. Yeah, maybe I'll take one of my friends instead of you. Right, go ahead. Since you don't want to go watch it. I don't know. Because it's not like I disliked it. It's just kind of like in the middle for me. But it's so much of a personal time investment for something that doesn't do too much for me. And I'm going to sit there and enjoy it technically for 2.5 hours, you know? How do you do that? Yeah, I feel like I said before, I think my opinions might change once part 2 comes out and you kind of get the complete view of what you're supposed to know and stuff. Yeah, my opinion might change too. I don't think I'll like it any less. No. I might like it more if I go with more knowledge into it. I don't know. I don't want to talk bad about it all the time, but what's his name? The Oscar Isaac? No. David Bautista or whatever his name is. Oh, David Bautista? Yeah. Big ol' head. Yeah. Looks goofy too. I didn't particularly enjoy him in this. Dennis likes him for small roles, though. He's in Blade Runner. Has a small role in the beginning. I don't think he's so big and bulky. It looks like he'd be in a sci-fi movie. I don't necessarily think he's a bad actor, but in the stuff that I've seen with him recently, I think he's trying too hard.
Hmm.
That's just my personal opinion. I thought Timothy was good. I thought Oscar was good.
Oscar was Oscar.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like he was doing his thing that he's good at. I don't know. This won't be like the Timothy movie for me, right?
No.
A lot of people will remember, 20 years from now, Timothée Chalamet from Dune. I don't think that's gonna do it for me. He had so many movies out this year. He was in French Dispatch. He was in Don't Look Up, which we already covered. This is the previous episode. A couple episodes ago. Which we don't really talk about him. He did a lot of like smaller roles in movies.
Yeah.
Which...
I honestly don't think that he's going to be remembered for this. I think, at least my opinion is, I think he's going to be kind of more of a well-rounded actor. Kind of...
Like a DiCaprio?
Maybe, or maybe... as a comparison, a Harrison Ford, known for a lot of different things. Like, some people know him for Star Wars, some people know him for Indiana Jones, some people know him for his smaller roles that he did before that. Or, you know,
like a bunch of thrillers.
Yeah.
Kind of like with...
But I think Timothée Chalamet has a better... I think he picks better roles, to be honest.
He likes movies, you could tell that.
Yeah.
Because he picks good movies to be in, like good scripts. Like, I think it was an amazing decision for him to pick Little Women, especially.
Mm-hmm.
I think that really works in his benefit and gives him a lot of stock for, like, a lot more different roles than this does.
Mm.
But this, it's fine. It's a big movie. He's the main star in it. Even though there's a lot of stars in this that take smaller roles.
Yeah.
Like, Dave Bautista, he's in the... I think everyone in this is in the Marvel movies except for Timothée Chalamet.
Jason Momoa's not, but he also is.
Oh, he's in like a DC movie?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. He's a big action star.
Yeah.
Dave Bautista, Jason Momoa, Oscar Isaac, Zendaya. Javier Bardem is in this. Probably forgetting 30 other people.
Maybe. But I think that this is something that we'll probably see at the Oscars in a different time, to be honest. I'm already going to call it that I think this comes out in 2023, the second part. And I'm going to say that in 2024, we will see more nominations for Dune Part 2.
Oh, we'll definitely get nominated, especially the technical ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll get Best Picture again, but that'll depend on the reception. Because I do think the reception for this was a big part in the nomination.
Well, I think it's time for our ratings.
Yes, and then we'll go through the nominations it got, like we always do. I gave it a 4 when I finished it, but then because I was like just waiting for it to end at like the last half an hour, honestly. But then once I sat on it, I raised it to a 5 like 20 minutes later. So my official rating's a 5, which I know is very low for some people.
Mine is also a 5. So yeah. It's just, obviously, this is not for me. I didn't particularly like it in terms of entertainment value. Not that I don't think that it doesn't necessarily deserve to be here. I know a lot of people liked it. This was for a lot of people. It just wasn't. It wasn't for us.
It's also a mood thing, right?
Yeah.
If we're like getting giddy to go to the theater, maybe we'd like already enjoy it more than we did having to put it on the TV because they got a Best Picture nomination, and that's on us, kind of, because we did only watch it because of this.
Yeah, in this current moment, I'm sure we at least I think I would have gotten.
But I think
to it.
This is such a big project. I can't say it's one of the best movies of the year, but it's one of the best projects of the year. It helps the industry. It gives a lot of people jobs. It gets a lot of people excited to go out and watch this. So I do think it should be nominated for Best Picture. And it got 9 others.
Yes, it got a lot of a lot of nominations.
You got the Best Sound nomination that now is just grouped, I guess, the mixing and the and the design. Which, I mean, yeah, fine, I guess. It's like a big operatic situation. Also got visual effects.
Obviously, I feel like that's pretty obvious that it would get.
Production design. The production design was actually really good. We didn't mention that. Everything did look good, except the eyes for me. Like, I don't have a complaint about like the world building at all, or any choice. Like the Firefly planes or spaceships look a little silly sometimes. Yeah, but they're not too hard to believe. I think that they're not a terrible choice. Best achievement in music
For Hans.
for Hans Zimmer. Yeah, original score for Hans Zimmer, obviously.
Yeah, there's a particular part where a character is screaming in pain and then it turns into the music,
Oh, yeah.
which is hilarious.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
unintentionally hilarious, but it's also like kind of good.
Yeah, I kind of love it.
Like, it's a nice little detail, but it was pretty funny how he dies and screams and it turns into like this native
like chant.
Yeah, that was good, but kind of unintentionally funny, which is fine. You need a laugh break sometimes.
It also got Best Achievement in Film Editing.
Yes.
Best Picture, obviously. Best Hair and Makeup, which, sure, I guess.
I mean.
Best Costume Design, which again...
Well, the costumes are kind of bland sometimes, but that's kind of... I mean, they live in sand.
Yeah, that's kind of the...
yeah, it works.
Yeah. The vibe.
Yeah, I got Cinematography, which, you know... If you're a teenager on film Twitter, you love that word. It is good cinematography, but it's not my favorite of the year. We'll talk about that in the predictions. You got the adapted screenplay. I think that's, pretty obvious. I don't know if that's going to get it for the second movie, though.
I doubt it, but maybe. I don't know. It's so far away that it's better not to speculate now.
Yeah. But, 10 nominations. I think is the second most nominations.
Yeah.
It's kind of expected, especially for like when a movie with so many hard to achieve technical aspects gets a good reception, it's probably going to get all the technical nominations.
Yeah, and I will say that from what I can tell, this is probably the best made one, even though I haven't seen the others. But from receptions I've heard from people that are really into Dune, this is kind of the best
Dune.
Yeah, best version of it.
Yeah, it looked good. The music sounded good. The dialogue, wishy-washy. Maybe it's our TV. I can't know for sure. But yeah, it's just kind of a little boring for me. Even though it wasn't slow, which I was scared of. If you haven't watched it and you just want to, freshen up on the nominations for some reason, I'm not going to say watch it now. Probably wait for part 2 and watch both of them. Yeah. That's what I had planned if this didn't get a nomination for Best Picture.
Yeah. I definitely think that, this... I'm not saying don't watch it. I just think that you might like it, you might not, if you're not already a fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think for the fans, this must be amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any doubt that this is, like, mind-blowing if you're a fan.
Yeah. But we're not. But anyway, I think that's all for this episode. So don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment if you can on the platform that you're listening to this to, and we'll see you next time.